Here we are in Vancouver Island, beautiful Campbell River for the Salmon Festival and the Logger Sports Competition. Been around Logger Sports for almost 30 years, and events like this just do not happen without fantastic sponsors. Just before the hot saw competition, we had a chance to talk to Echo's Donnie Walker, who had made something a little special.
This is an 80cc saw that I've helped develop, and we're going to show it today at the chainsaw races. I've done some special features to this one. It's fairly stock, the engine, but I've done some modifications to the cylinder, the carburetor, and I've put this exhaust system on it. Now this exhaust system is kind of handmade from a friend of mine, Adam, and it's designed to match the cc's of this engine. It's an 80cc pipe and it's an 80cc saw. So we fabricated it to go on here. What this pipe does versus the stock muffler, it increases the horsepower by about double. So originally it had 5 horsepower, now it'll have 10 with this pipe. And I've also added a kind of a unique thing. First time I've ever done this. This is nitrous oxide. It's a special gas that people use in race cars, in motorcycle racing, drag racing. And what it does is I have a little button here, a custom button I've made. And this is a solenoid here. When I'm ready to cut with this machine, I'm going to hit this button and it's going to increase it by 8 horsepower. So now this engine's going to have 18 horsepower and cut a lot better than it would normally. So it's something I've been working with Echo on, and we're kind of new to the Logger Sports competition. But this is our first step at it. And you know, in the future, we'll be right there with the big guys.
Well, as we head into the hot saw event, we are going to be seeing a couple of big guys, specifically in the third heat, a couple of Rotax engines. You know, you watch this show at home, and you don't have to put your fingers in your ears or wear earmuffs, but you watch this in person, it is loud.
It's loud, it's fast, it's exciting. It's one of the greatest events we have in the lumberjack world. And of course, in this heat, we have Carl Bischoff taking on Mitch Hewitt. Now, Carl took a second seat to win the springboard chop, but he's not about to concede the hot saw.
It's 18 inches round at Western White Pine, down, up, down. And look at Carl Bischoff. He's done this a million times. He wins the first heat in a 6.91.
Carl's done it a lot of times with his same saw, 250 cc's. His start is perfect. He takes 3 beautiful thin cuts with his saw. His changes from one cook to the other are perfect. He actually does a great job on the hot saw.
Well, as much as you have to relax, you have to go fast as well. It's a combination of both. Carl, a veteran competitor, has done this lots of times as we head into heat number 2.
Hello, my name's Peter Colliver and I live in Chase and I'm a log scaler.
Hi, I'm Terry Basso. I live in Campbell River, British Columbia, and I'm a log trader.
Well, there it is, a 6.91 and 3 cuts of 18 inches of Western White Pine. That's going to be tough to beat. Next up, we got Terry Basso from Campbell River taking on Peter Colliver from Chase.
Yeah, it's especially going to be tough in this heat because, of course, they have modified chainsaws, 140 cc's maximum. They don't really do as well in the big wood.
Well, they got adjusted carburetors, including these exhaust tune pipes here. And Terry Basso done a great job, and his saw is really working hard.
Oh, Peter Colliver had a bad set on his second cookie. That's going to cost him some time.
A little bit thin on his second cut as well. I think Peter Colliver is going to be staring a DQ in the face for that mess. He does a good job in getting to the wood, and his first cut seems to be relatively perfect, but it's the second cut where he has a hard time.
That's right, and you're always back from the log. You can't see the bottom of it, and of course that's the struggle that these guys had to make that second cut straight.
And he's a little bit too thin there, as you can see in the upcut. That's going to be an incomplete disc. Peter Colliver is going to take a DQ for that. It's still the time to beat Carl Bischoff, 6.91, set in the first heat. This is going to be our last heat. The big guns are out now. We got Brad DeLusa from Australia taking on Gil Lean from New Zealand.
That's right, Bill. They packed these saws all the way from down under, and they're here on British Columbia to make a go of this heat.
Well, they're both running Rotax engines, and they're both quick to the wood. Brad DeLusa through in less than 4 seconds in his first cut. Brad DeLusa wins the hot saw with a time of 6.56. Now, I know you got some big shows coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it's always nice to have your hot saw running at its best. There's a lot of competition here today in the hot saw.
Yeah, it was a good competition, and the saw went really well, so that's all I can hope for. You know, it's good to get a few good runs on the board before the big comps.
Now, when you have a big show coming up, do you find yourself ramping up in terms of trying to perfect things and then get to its maximum capability when you get there?
Yeah, definitely. It's always a good confidence booster to get a good run on the board with the hot sauce. So at home, we don't get to run them back in Australia. So over here, you know, you need to have that competition on your belt before you get to the big shows.
So they don't allow the open modified hot saw in Australia?
No, we don't have any chainsaw racing tied up with the wood chopping and that over there. So yeah, it's a lot of different events, and you really need to get here early to prepare.
Thanks for your time, Brad.
No worries. Thanks, Bill.
The spectacular hot saw is now in the books with Brad DeLusa from Australia winning it. Look at Terry Basso down there in 5th place. coming in 5th with a stock chainsaw engine.
Today's Crown Pivotal Point focuses on Sarah Mooney taking first place in the women's axe throw. Spent a lot of time in the backyard trying to perfect my axe throw over the years. You've got to focus on just you and the target, so when you throw those 2 perfect bullseyes, when the 3rd throw counts, you can throw it in there and make it count when it matters.
And 1/3 of the way through the competition here in beautiful Campbell River, British Columbia, we got a leaderboard chock full of lumberjack sports celebrities. Look at that 3-way tie for 5th.
And the You Fine Fish Lumberjack of the Day focuses on Sterling Hart, taking a 2nd place in the pole climb, the springboard chop, and the double buck, catapulting him into 1st place with 225 points.
It's always great coming to Vancouver Island for a logger sports competition. Campbell River, the best show in Canada. Come back again next week for part 2. We're featuring the women's single buck, the stock saw, the butcher block, and the always exciting log burling on Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. The new You Find Fish app. Fish with your phone. Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime.
Contestant ready. 1, 2, go. There you go, Jake. There it is. Here you go, Jake.